Island. Why, I shiver at the thought. And the laboratory. I sincerely hope you burnt everything. The cages, the corpses, the papers.
All right, let's get down to business.
What are you talking about?
Sex. That's why we're here, isn't it?
You may know about wine, but you remain quite unsophisticated otherwise.
Hello there, and welcome to the Witcher lore. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Alright, so today I decided to make a series talking about Witcher lore, mostly game related, but also I guess I could dive into some books, even though they don't really give too much detail and history about the monsters in the books. But today we're talking about the Bruxa. Now, the Bruxa is a higher vampire that is a post-conjunction creature. Basically, it's from the conjunction of the spheres and whatnot. It's an intruder in our world, and she appears as a beautiful woman, but when she is hungry or attacking, she is terrifying, like batshit terrifying. As a vampire, the Bruxa drinks blood. She often finds a victim to become her lover, and a constant supply of sustenance at the same time. The Bruxa finds the smell of garlic to be socially inconvenient at most. She considers holy symbols to be interesting examples of handicraft. She endures the light of the sun well, but she prefers the darkness of the night. So she could fucking walk around during the day, looking like a sexy lady, showing off her boobies, but she prefers the night. As you see, you can stuff most stereotypical stuff about vampires up your arse when it comes up to the Bruxa. So what works? Well, the blade of a silver sword as usual. Silver is a main weakness. It's the main weakness of a lot of monsters in the Witcher lore. Silver swords, silver ingots, a stake. Apart from silver, she can be wounded with fire. So if you could cast the Igni sign, and a fire and a stake, provided that the latter is as long as a wagon's drawboard. Bruxa is a womanoid. So, in a womanoid, she appears to be a woman, but she's not. Now, there's different type of Bruxae, I guess you could say. Less powerful Bruxae are often hunters in packs. They make packs, making it easier to corner prey. If threatened, they attack with their talons and rip the victim apart, pausing only to savor the blood of their dying foe. The greatest threat to a Witcher is the Bruxa's voice. The creature can screech with such force that the shockwave will knock even a huge man down, making him easy prey for the vampires. Blindness is a great threat, as this ghastly scream deprive their enemies of sight in order to play cat and mouse with them. Until sight returns, one should defend against their attacks in any way possible. For example, by using the Quen sign, which is a shield pretty much. The Bruxa have a masterful control over their blood circulation, rendering poisons and oils that increase bleeding ineffective against them. They are good at defending themselves against Witcher tricks, but they are vulnerable to fire and can be knocked down and finished off as they try to get up. Now I want to talk about the Bruxa that Geralt fought in the book. Basically, in that form she had two forms, right? Human and bat. In The Last Wish, Geralt stumbles upon a Bruxa, and in her human form she was described as having long black hair, wide eyes, and tiny hands so pale they were almost transparent. She was also described to have a long white dress, as well and sang a song to Geralt. The song was unfamiliar. The language was unrecognizable. And then, of course, there was the other form, which was the bat. Now, in the book, her description of the bat was an enormous, big black bat with glossy body. And it had a long, narrow jaw with needle-like white teeth. It's also been known to speak without opening its mouth, like singing. It could speak telepathically. They're extremely strong and extremely dangerous. The fucking Bruxa kicked the shit out of Geralt. He only won because he had that help by Nevelyn, but we'll discuss him a later time. Also, if you're playing the game, I suggest you cook up some potions, like Black Blood, I think it's called. Yeah. It's pretty cool. The Bruxa is built on contradictions. Her white pupil and blank face contrast sharply with her feminine silhouette. The long scarlet claws would be an elegant body ornament or simply marked with the fluids of recent victims. Dried blood covered her breast and mouth, leaving no doubt that the Bruxa is a vampire. A monster in a beautiful woman body. The enlarged image of her torso reveals the texture details. The Bruxa's skin is ghastly pale, wrinkled, and somewhat transparent, rendering visible the blood vessels underneath. In the game, these female vampires inhabit dark crypts and ancient ruins. They approach gracefully and are easy to overlook. The abrupt attacks of the Bruxa stun Geralt. While he is helpless, they suck his blood to regain strength. The wound they inflict hemorrhage intensely. An eerie cry echoing through the corridors indicates an approaching Bruxa, at once both beauty and the beast. Now here's a quote from the Last Wish, the chapter called Grain of Truth. And it says, and I quote, "She was clinging to the back of the dolphin in the dried-up fountain, embracing the moss-overgrown stone with her tiny hands. So pale they seemed transparent. Beneath her storm of tangled black hair shone huge, wide-open eyes, the color of anthracite. The creature glued to the dolphin's back followed him with her eyes, turning her petite face with an expression of longing and full of charm. He could still hear her singing." There was also a trailer for the Blood and Wine DLC called A Night to Remember, where she sang Lullaby of Woe. If you make vampire oil, moon dust, or black blood, you'll be fine. Just slather some silver, just lather some vampire oil that, all over your silver sword. Now in the game, if you travel through the woods, stay clear of any places where you can hear several different kinds of birds at once. That sound means you're entering a Bruxa's territory and can kiss your life farewell. Fortunately for us all, Bruxa are rare creatures. Most live far from population centers, for they care greatly for their own safety and make their They make their lairs in places where they cannot be taken by surprise. Those who decide to live near men avoid crowds and emerge from their shelters only at night. When they do, one could almost mistake them for delayed travelers hurrying towards their night lodging. Yet subtle details give them away. Their clothes ties their close ties to birds, their piercing voices, and breathtaking speed of their movements. Bruxa are far swifter and stronger than men, but their greatest asset to their ability is to turn invisible. Bruxa dart with uncanny speed, and their power of invisibility, they can easily confuse opponents and attack unexpectedly or from behind it. Thus, when fighting these vampires, the moon dust bomb is a great aid. You just poof! While it cannot eliminate the vampire's invisibility altogether, it can make it easier to track its motions. A generous smearing the vampire's oil is also effective. Like I said, slather that shit all over the silver sword and you're golden. Bruxa use their sharp claws to attack and can easily break through an opponent's guard by buffeting him with hail of blows from all directions. They will try to bite their prey and drink its blood once it's weakened. So every witcher knows... Fuck me, man, hang on. So every witcher who expects to encounter such a monster should swallow a black blood potion beforehand. It's basically just poison. It's legit just poison. They try to drink your blood, they're drinking the poison. Bruxa are also known for their sonic attacks, which can knock down and stun their enemy. And I just, yeah. This was interesting, I guess you could say. I really love The Witcher, and I love the lore that goes in between all these creatures in the world of the continent, the conjunction of the spheres. I'll probably do a lot of bestiary, I don't know how you fucking say it. But I'll be making a lot of videos once a week talking about these different creatures that we have. And I just hope that you guys enjoy it. I really love this world, and I've just been replaying the third game, and I've been reading the books more, and I've been rewatching the show because season 2 should come out this winter. And it's just, man, there's so much detail that the writer put into this book to get a game and to get the show. And I love it. Like the Wraths of Morhog, aka the Red Riders, aka the Wild Hunt, and you got the conjunction where all these monsters were, basically monsters and humans came from a different planet onto this planet, and they brought along magic and witchers and mutations and whatnot. And it's cool with the Great Cleansing, like with all the elves about to go extinct, and how Nilfgaard is basically on their third Great War. And it's just, if you guys like The Witcher, please make sure to slap the thumbs up. That sounds kind of stupid, but do it. Anyways, I just wanted to say thank you. I know I didn't sound like too enthused, however the fuck you say it. It's because I got to talk about this, and I'm reading off of a script, and I got to remember how to say certain shit. Oh, man. But I'm going to be making more of these videos. Sure, they are not like what certain people make on the YouTube, but that's because Nerd Table is shit, and we're shit at making videos, and we don't know how to do shit, and I don't like doing shit that other people do shit, and it's just a bunch of shit everywhere, Just a bunch of shit. Anyways, subscribe to someone else. Tell them subscribe to someone else. Tell them to subscribe to us, and Nerd Table forever.